Alright, hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about scatter plots. So let me give you an example of what a scatter plot could possibly look like. Let's say I'm going to put it here. These are plots I'm going to put on the graph that just, they happen to be scattered. Hence we have our scatter plots. Now, scatter plots can run a couple of different ways. They could run, in this way where it would be positive, where it's going in the positive direction, it's going up and to the right. They could also be going in the negative direction, where they could be going, looks like it's going down and to the right. Remember, we never talk about it going left. So those are two possible scatter plots that you could see. One going up to the right, which would be a positive direction, and one going up and to the right, going positive directions, sorry, and then down to the right would be the negative direction. You could also have scatter plots that can, honestly, there's really no trend to it. I can honestly kind of put this all over the place. And see how if I'm going positive, I typically know where I'm going as I plot more and more and more. It would be going more up to where I have the arrow. Same with negative, but with no trend, the next plot could be here, could be here, could be here. We don't know where that's going. So that's why we say that that one has no trend. You don't know where it's going. It's unpredictable. We don't like that. All right. Now, there are also a couple of other ways that we could describe a scatter plot. Not necessarily the direction they're going, but what kind of a correlation that we have. So actually, let me write that down for a vocab word. Now, correlation here is how something reacts. So let me use this for example. Let's say I have a job where I do dishes. Well, then it's with money. That's a strong correlation. I would get an allowance. If I do dishes, I get money. Strong correlation. If this, then that. You know what's going to happen. But let's say, for example, something that would have a weak correlation. There's really nothing to it. I'm trying to an example off the top of my head. I really can't come up with any. So actually, let me just show you right on here. It'll give you a better example. So a weak correlation would follow along with something that has no trend. So it would be a combination of no trend as long with either a positive or a negative. So let me give you an example of something that's positive here. So just staring at this, you can tell that it's positive, but you're not as sure about it. Whereas here, you can definitely tell it's positive. And this one is positive. But the only difference here is this is what we would call a weak positive. Yeah, you can tell it's going up, but you'd have to look at it for a while to be able to tell the trends. Whereas here, this would be more of a strong, actually this would be a strong positive. All right. And now let's look at our strong correlation here. So actually, let me just write down weak correlation. And then we would have our strong correlation. Actually, you want to keep it the green? Okay, so strong correlation again would be where we could definitely tell it's going up. No issues, no questions, no whatsoever. Now, the nice part about a strong correlation is we are best be able to suited to be able to make a what's called a line of best fit. Or let's just call it a best fit line. This would be a general line that describes a scatter, I don't have enough room, plot. So how you could do that is go from here, we will be able to make a line that's going to be right down the middle. As best as I can, given the fact that, I'm drawing this freehand. So that would be an example of a best fit line. Alright. Now, we have one more vocab word I do want to talk about. That's an outlier. So that's going to be a data point that does, let me rewrite that again. Does not fit the trend. So we would typically talk about outliers when it comes to a strong correlation. So for example, if I'm playing basketball, in the gym, with a bunch of my friends, and all of a sudden Steph Curry happens to show up, he's going to be an outlier. He's a professional. He's an MVP. He's won finals. I have not. I'm just a math teacher. I've not won MVPs. So he would be considered the outlier here. And I can guarantee you, I don't have friends who have won MVPs either. So an outlier in this example, in this last one, would be something that's about right here. Because like I said, they're not common. It doesn't fit the trend. So very typically, you could see one or two outliers, but that's typically it. So again, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact Mr. Perry. Please remember, Zoom tomorrow, 9 a.m. Set your phones. I can't stress this enough. We're going to go over some state test questions about scatter plots. So this would be a really good time for you to be able to hop on, especially if you have any questions. All right, I'll talk to you all later. Hope to see you all tomorrow.